Hi, thanks for watching Yogi Moksha with Vanessa and Andrew. If you enjoy our sequences, please consider subscribing and providing feedback. We enjoy hearing from those that share our passion for yoga. In our functional energetic sequence, we started to explore energetic movement through the body's subtle energy channels. We started to understand that this movement and harmonisation of energy is important for overall health. In traditional Chinese medicine, it is qi that moves through 12 main meridians. In Indian philosophy, it is prana, moving through nadis. In more recent research, the focus has been on myofascial meridians that loosely follow many of the Chinese medicine meridians. Myofascial meridians are bands that allow chemical and electrical energy to move through the body. These bands are part of the single connective tissue network that is present in every part of our body. It is these myofascial meridians that we work with in our practice and that we will work with in this sequence. Often, these meridians are worked in their yin-yang pairs, and this is how we will work with the meridians in this sequence. In traditional Chinese medicine, the stomach and spleen meridians relate to the digestive system, transforming food and water to blood and qi, and transporting this to the rest of the organs and body. The stomach meridian runs from the second toe, across the top of the foot, up the front or lateral outside of the leg, on the same front side of the body, behind the nipple, up to the neck and to the side of the face. The spleen meridian runs from the big toe, up the inside of the leg to the groin, crossing to the hip and up the same side of the body to the armpit. Disharmony in the stomach and spleen channels can arise from poor diet, in particular excess refined sugars or processed foods, irregular meals, and of course stress. This can manifest as fatigue, weakness in the arms and legs, poor appetite, worry, regret, remorse, suspicion, anxiety, overthinking, nervousness, and an excessive need for approval. In the lifestyles that many of us follow, who hasn't experienced these symptoms recently? The sequence we will practice seeks to restore some balance to the stomach-spleen meridians, helping to ensure a healthy flow of qi throughout the body. By increasing our store of qi, increasing our perception of energy in the body, and hence our ability to follow and ultimately move that energy, and ensuring the energy channels, meridians, are free of blockages. The sequence will also help us develop a more meditative mindset, allowing us to be more mindful and present in our lives, rather than falling back into the habits of regretting the past, which we cannot change, and worrying about the future, which we cannot control. So enjoy the practice. Namaste. So coming to a comfortable seated position, just a couple of minutes just to bring the focus of our attention to the practice. Maybe bringing the eyes to a close if you're comfortable to do that, or if not, just taking the gaze down towards the mat or the floor. And just following the breath. No particular pattern of breath, just your natural breathing rhythm. Observing. Observing the breath as you inhale and as you exhale. Feeling the movement of the air coming in over the nostrils and back out through the nostrils as we exhale. starting to turn our senses inwards, ready for a practice that really does require a good degree of perception and inward focus. Not trying to block out external noises or sensations, just not dwelling on them, not focusing on them, making our main primary focus what's happening within, just for 90 minutes. Inhaling and exhaling. Just a couple more breaths now. Your own time, just gently blinking open the eyes, getting ready for our first posture. So for our first posture, we're going to work on a toe stretch. So coming into all fours, tucking the toes, and then from here, just sitting back on the ankles, on the heels, as far as you're comfortable. The degree to which you go back just moderates the amount of stress that you put on the toes. So if you're not comfortable with a lot of stress on the toes, then maybe you're just sitting back with the hands still out in front. If you want a little bit more stress, you can gradually come up. You can even have your hands behind your back. Or as Venice is demonstrating there, you can just continue to lean forward a little bit more and take a bit of pressure off your knees. So wherever you are, just in physical terms, trying to find some fun in that first edge, relaxing the muscles in the feet, maybe coming up the quads, just finding a bit of stillness physically. In that stillness, we're going to take our attention to the big toes, working with the Spleen Meridian here. So if you want to, you can also just open up the knees a little bit. So taking our attention to the big toes. Our mind just drawing a line from the big toes, coming up the inside of the feet, inside of the legs, inside of the legs to the groin, and coming to the outside of the body, just coming up towards the armpit there. As we exhale, bring it back down the side of the body, to the hip, into the groin, down the inside of the leg, to the big toe. So big toe, inhale, side of the foot, inside of the leg, up to the groin, crossing out of the hip, up the side of the body, the armpit, and exhale, back down, inside of the leg, to the big toe. That's the Spleen Meridian. Not being too concerned if you're thinking you can't really feel much through that meridian band that we've just been tracing. Initially we don't feel a great deal, but it does help to visualise. So either visualising the tracing of that line with the finger in your mind, or for some people it's about visualising the actual movement of energy. So we can perhaps try that if we take our mind to the big toe, and as we inhale, visualise drawing energy from the big toe up the inside of the foot, up the inside of the leg, groin, out to the outside of the hip, side of the body, to the armpits. And as we exhale, allowing that energy to come back down the side of the body, hip, inside groin, down the inside of the leg, to the big toe. really works for you, whatever form of visualisation. Over time, we'll find that that visualisation gets taken over by an actual sensation in the body. You'll be able to feel the movement of that energy more, and over a longer period of time, even direct that movement of energy. But coming forward now for our next posture. Coming back onto all fours, we're going to straighten the toes out there, and we're going to go for an ankle stretch, so just stretching the feet out, sitting back onto the heels again. So again, sitting on your heels, Cesar or something similar. Maybe the knees are a little bit closer together, but just watch any stress on the knees. Couple of breaths. So our physical target area here is obviously the ankles, coming up the front of the legs, the quads. So just finding that edge there, settling in, relaxing all of those muscles. We don't want to be working with the muscles, the connective tissue. Finding some stillness. And once we've found that stillness, moving beyond the physical, we're going to work with our meridian band. So the stomach meridian band here. Take our attention to the second toes. The second toes, we inhale, drawing that energy or tracing a line across the top of the feet, the outside front of the leg, coming up towards the torso, and the torso we just come straight up the front of the chest, straight through the back of the nipples, up to the shoulder, coming up the neck, and to the side of the body, side of the face. Side of the face as we exhale, coming back down, neck, shoulders, straight down through the front of the chest, coming down the outside, front outside of the leg, top of the foot to the second toe. So just visualising that, maybe in your own time if you prefer, coordinating with the breath, inhaling, drawing the line up, and exhale, allowing the line or the energy to come back down. Inhale, big toe, top foot, outside front leg, front of chest, neck, side of the face. Exhale, side of the face, neck, shoulder, straight down the front of the chest, outside of the front of the leg, top of the foot, second toe. Inhaling one more time, toe, front foot, outside front leg, front of the chest, shoulder, neck, side of the face. And exhale, side of the face, neck, shoulder, front of the torso, outside front of the leg, down towards the top of the foot, second toe. For the next posture, we're going to stay with the same meridian but with a different physical target area. So we're going to come back onto all fours, keeping the hips roughly over or above the knees. We're going to come into a melting heart, so we're going to walk the arms forward. And again, if this is too much for your arms, you can utilise the bolster like Vanessa's doing there, just to take some of the weight out. Resting the head on the mat, or as Vanessa's doing on the bolster. Whatever's comfortable for you today. Same with the position of the knees. Just settling into the position. So physical target area is the upper body, the rectus abdominis. So just settling into the physical elements first, relaxing the muscles. Finding that edge, relax the muscles. Maybe it goes a little bit deeper. And wherever we are, just finding that stillness now. Stillness in the body and the mind. And once we have that stillness, we're going to take our attention away from the physical dimension towards the meridian, stomach meridian. So that's back to that second toe. So just notice here that although we're going to work with the same meridian, the stomach meridian, how different it feels in a different posture. Maybe in a different part of the band, but just explore this for yourself. So starting with the focus on the second toe. As we inhale, drawing that attention over the top of the foot, coming out to the front side of the leg, all the way up the front side of the leg, coming up now, front of the torso, straight through the back of the nipples, up to the shoulders, neck, both sides of the face. Maybe pausing here, maybe an inhale and exhale. Next inhale as we exhale, coming back down, side of the face, neck, shoulder, front of the chest, all the way down the torso, outside of the legs, top of the foot, second toe. A couple more times, inhaling, drawing up from the toes, foot, outside leg, front of the torso, shoulders, neck, both sides of the face, and exhaling, coming all the way back down, neck, front of the torso, outside front of the leg, top of the foot, second toe. Not being too concerned here that perhaps you can't feel a sensation or any sensation much, or maybe it's a little bit patchy. As we practice, our perception of the energy flows in the meridian bands improves. But just by being in the posture and taking our attention or our focus over the path of the meridian band will help. And time gently now, coming back up to all fours. Next posture, we're going to just come back and sit back onto our ankles. So I want to widen the knees a bit here. We want a nice wide-legged child's pose. Our target area here is going to be inside, so the groin, that's why we want to open up the knees a bit. And our meridian target is the spleen. So if you remember, inside of the leg is the spleen, starting at the big toe. So just getting ourselves set up there. So physically walking forward. Again, we can be on our elbows here. We can have our arms extended, head to the mat. Or as Vanessa's demonstrating here, we can use a bolster to take some of that weight of the body away from the arms, if that's a bit much for you. In doing the expression that Vanessa has here, she's still getting all of the work that we want in the target area of the groin and the spleen meridian. the area that we're de-stressing is the arms and the upper body. So whichever expression we're working with, just relaxing into the posture, just finding that first physical edge, relaxing the muscles around the groin, the lower back, top of the legs. And then just finding stillness, physical stillness, mental stillness. Moving beyond the physical posture, we're taking our attention to the meridian, the spleen meridian, so both big toes. Again, coordinating with the breath as we have before, as we inhale, drawing the attention up the inside of the leg, thighs, groin, going to the sides of the body, up the side of the body to the armpit, and as we exhale, coming down from the armpit, down the side of the body, crossing in at the hips to the groin, all the way back down the inside of the leg. Inhale, big toe inside of the leg, groin, out to the hips, up the side of the body to the armpit. And as we exhale, down, sides of the body, in at the hips to the groin, down the inside of the leg, to the big toes. Just continuing with a few of those in your own time. Again, maybe coordinating with the breath to rise up. And as we exhale, allowing the energy to move back down through the spleen meridian. Inhaling and exhaling. One more time, inhaling from the toes, inside of the feet, ankles, inside of the legs, coming up to the groin, out to the hips, up the side of the body to the armpit. And as we exhale, armpit, side of the torso, down to the hips, into the groin, all the way down the inside of the legs, the inside of the foot to the big toes. And time, just walking the hands back, maybe removing the bolsters if you've been working with those. We're going to come for our first rebound now. So I generally like to do the rebounds lying on my back or supported in this way, so your choice. You can either lie right back, as I think Vanessa prefers to do, or I'll stay up here on my elbows. So the purpose of the rebound is to really reflect on the sensations that we've stimulated in the previous postures. So here we take our attention to the target areas. So quads, ankles, groin, toes. And just open the mind to what sensations exist now. So what's the after effects of the posture? Maybe we feel some kind of movement or sensation, some energetic movement through those meridian bands that we've been working with. So big toe up the inside of the leg and the second toe up the outside of the leg, front of the chest and up to the side of the face. But we're not directing in a rebound. When we do a rebound after certain of the postures, it really is just about observing. And if we do that with our eyes closed, often that's easier for us to pick up some fairly subtle signs. In your next breath, just coming back up to a seated position. So again, we're going to move back to physically, we're going to target the quads. And we're going to do that with a half saddle. The meridian target area is the stomach. So I'm going to take the right foot back, we're going to bend that right leg. And we're just going to find our first edge, we're going to lean back as far as we're comfortable. So again, we can use bolsters and things to support ourselves behind, or we can just support ourselves on our elbows. We can also, as Vanessa is demonstrating now, bring the torso right back, just lying on the mat. Wherever we find ourselves, just finding that first edge as the first point of resistance you'll come across. We pause here, we relax the muscles in the target area around the quad. And as we relax the muscles, we may then find the posture opens up. So maybe then we can move back if we haven't already. If you want more depth, we can bring the left leg up, allow it to move out to the side. So again, just explore a little and find what's working for you today. Wherever we are, we're finding stillness now. We want to find stillness in the physical posture, stillness in the mind. Take our attention to the second toe on the right leg. Then as we inhale, draw that energy, or just draw our attention across the top of the foot, the outside of the leg, coming up the front of the chest, shoulder, up to the neck, to the right side of the face. And exhale, taking that energy all the way back down, front of the chest, outside of the leg, top of the foot, to the second toe. A couple of times in your own time, coordinating with your breath. Inhale, drawing it up. Exhale, allowing it to flow back down. Inhale up, top of the foot, outside of the leg, front of the torso, neck, side of the face. And exhale, moving back down, all the way back down to the second toe. Each time we do this, rather than just going through the motions, really taking the attention, the focus with you all the way up, and just being aware of all the different sensations as we move up and down through that meridian band. Facing that side, maybe taking the right leg straight out. Coming to the other side, we're just going to swap now. Bring the left leg behind us, right leg straight out, finding that first edge. Remembering we're not going to be the same on both sides, so maybe that first edge is in a different place to the other side. Maybe our final expression of this posture is going to be different to the other side. Staying here supported on the elbows or with a bolster, or as Vanessa's demonstrating, going straight back. Finding that first edge, relaxing the muscles around the quad. As we relax the muscles, just going to find some stillness. If you want alternative expressions by bringing up that right foot, bending the knee or allowing the leg to fall out, that's fine. And then taking our attention to the meridian we're working with, stomach meridian, so the second toe of the bent leg, the left foot. Starting from there as we inhale, drawing the sensation or energy up the front of the foot, outside of the leg, straight up the front of the torso, shoulder, neck, left side of the face, and exhaling back down the side of the face, neck, shoulder, front of the torso, outside of the left leg, down over the front of the foot to the second toe. Inhaling, drawing up. Exhale, allowing the energy to move back down the same way. Again, not being too concerned if the sensation is different from side to side, or if we're not feeling a consistent sensation all the way up through that meridian. That may be because we have some kind of blockage there that we're needing to work through, which is what we're doing here. Over time, our perception of the energetic movement will improve. But for now, it may just be that we visualize the drawing of a finger over the meridian band, or the movement of the energy through the meridian band. And it's only after some time practicing with these meridians that we can actually experience that movement, that energetic movement, all the way through the meridian. There may be some further time before we can actually direct that energy flow. So starting from the second toe again as we inhale, drawing up the outside of the leg, up towards the torso, front of the chest, behind the nipple, neck, left side of the face, and exhale, left side of the face, neck, shoulder, torso, outside of the leg, top of the foot, down to the second toe. Gently in own time, just releasing that left leg, coming back to a seated position. We're going to work with the same physical meridian target areas, but this time we're going to do it with a full expression of the saddle, so both legs. And again, as we did before, given that we're working with the same physical target area and the same meridian, I just want you to be mindful, conscious of how different it feels to when we did it either side. So finding our first edge, coming back. So again, coming back onto the elbows as far as you're comfortable. Maybe staying here. Some people prefer to use a bolster behind the back, lengthways or across the back. Vanessa's just going to demonstrate using the bolster lengthways. So again, all we're doing here is taking some of the weight of the torso out of the quads. Also taking some pressure off the knees and the lower back. If that's what you need to do today, or even choose to do today, that's absolutely fine. So finding your first edge. Relaxing the muscles and the quads. Maybe that edge moves out a little bit. Maybe the posture opens up a little bit now. Yeah, you might find if you started with a bolster, you might want to continue with the bolster, or sometime during the posture, you might want to remove it, that's fine. You can also take the arms up overhead, holding the opposite elbows as Vanessa's demonstrating, or extending the arms straight out. Whatever gives you a good connective tissue stress here. Wherever you are now, just finding some stillness. Stillness in the body, stillness in the mind. Given that some of the causes of disharmony with the stomach and the spleen meridians are things like poor diet, excessive refined sugars in our foods, processed foods generally, and stress, you can see that many of us with the lifestyles that we have might experience some issues with these meridians. I mean, these are pretty common things in some of today's lifestyles. And they might manifest for us in things like fatigue, poor appetite, worrying or regret, worrying about the future, regret about the past, overthinking. So, all fairly typical things for many of us these days. So a couple of important meridians to work with. So if we take our attention down to the second toes, we'll work with our stomach meridian. As we inhale, draw that energy up from the second toe, across the top of the foot, up the front outside of the leg, coming up to the torso, coming straight up the chest, behind the nipples, shoulder, neck, side of the face. And as we exhale, taking it back down the side of the face, neck, shoulder, front of the chest, torso, down to the front outside of the legs, top of the foot, back to the second toe. Inhale, up, right up to the side of the face, and exhale back down the front of the chest, outside of the leg, top of the foot, second toe. Inhale up and exhale back down. Just continuing with your own rhythm of breath, drawing the energy of the focus up, the outside of the leg, side of the body, shoulder, neck, side of the face, and exhaling back down. With all of the meridians we'll be working with over the next few practices, we practice them in the yin-yang meridian pairs. And it's sometimes quite difficult to distinguish when we're working with same physical areas. It's quite difficult to distinguish between the yin and the yang meridian. But that's why it's important to bring our close attention to the area that we're working with, and to deliberately trace in our mind the energy moving through that particular meridian. So one more time, drawing the energy up from the second toe, top of the foot, outside of the leg, up the front of the chest, shoulder, neck, side of the face, And exhaling, pushing it back down, front of the chest, outside of the leg, to the second toe. And just gently, gradually, in your own time, just straightening out the feet, coming into a rebound, so you can just stay lying on your back, either flat out on your back or supported. Taking our attention straight away to the physical target area, so the quads, both legs. Closing the eyes and just opening the mind to any sensations that might be originating in or just moving through that physical area. Perhaps those sensations, whether it's a light vibration or something a little bit more energetic, maybe they're actually moving through the stomach and the spleen meridians again. Maybe they're just moving through the bottom half, the legs, or maybe they are coming up through the upper body. Wherever they're moving, just observing it and noting how it's different for each of these physical postures. We're working with the same meridian pair, but we're doing it through quite a few different physical asanas. Steady breath, just observing. No rush, but in your next inhale, just want to come up gradually to a seated position. For our next posture, our target area is going to be the groin. So we're going to do that by sitting up, opening the legs, getting a good sort of 90 degrees there. Again, there are various options here with the bolster that some of you may find helpful, and Vanessa can demonstrate those. So the target area, physical target area, is the groin. Just taking the hands forward. The meridian we're going to be working with, because it's the inside, is going to be the spleen, so starting in the big toe. For now, just walking the hands forward, coming forward either onto your bolster or elbows, finding that first edge. When we found that first edge, just pausing, relaxing the muscles around the target area, so the muscles around the groin. As we relax those muscles, we may find that the posture opens up a little bit. If it does, you can decide whether you want to take advantage of that or just stay where you are. So you can stay on your bolster or on your elbows, or you can come further down towards the mat. Just finding an expression that's going to be comfortable for you. Finding some stillness. And starting to shift our attention from the physical to the energetic. So taking our attention to the big toe for the spleen meridian. On the next inhale,
Just drawing that energy all out the inside of the leg, up towards the groin. Out of the groin to the hip, up the side of the body to the armpit. Exhaling, armpit down, side of the torso, coming in at the hip to the groin, down the inside of the leg, right back down to the big toe. So just continuing to do that in your own time, with your coordinated with your breath. Going up and exhale, moving back down. I tend to suggest just coordinating this visualization or energetic movement with the breath, because it seems to make it easier to visualize or actually experience the sensation of energetic movement, but you're welcome to try it without the coordination with the breath. Most people find that it's helpful, but there are some people that find it to be less helpful. And drawing the energy up, inhale. Really feeling that sensation as you're drawing up. And allowing it to move back down. If you want to, you can draw up. And also more consciously move the energy back down. As we're doing this, maybe just thinking about what some of the factors that may be resulting in the manifestation of anxiety and overthinking. What are they? What are the drivers for those? Maybe just feeling some of those evaporate even for just now as we move this energy up and down, doing the inside of the leg and the side of the body as we inhale and exhale. Maybe feeling that anxiety reducing as we move the energy through that meridian band. Flushing out that meridian band, increasing the energy or the chi in the body, increasing our perception of the energy. All of these things are going to help get some perspective back, reduce the importance of those issues in our mind. Helping to melt away some of the worry and regret. And gently in your own time, just walking those hands back. Bringing the legs straight out in front. Coming back for another rebound. Lying straight on your back, or supported, whichever you prefer. Bringing the eyes to a close if you're comfortable. If not, just looking down towards the mat. Taking our attention to the physical target area, the groin. Tuning into the energetic sensations. that may be passing through or arising from the groin. Just seeing if some of those are moving along either the Spleen Meridian, maybe they're moving down the inside of the leg to the big toe, coming back up. Maybe you can sense a movement elsewhere in the body. Maybe they start in the Spleen Meridian and move on. Not controlling, just observing. Just observing and discerning. Next inhale, coming back up to a seated position. I'm going to come up onto all fours. You might want some padding for your knee here. So if you've got another mat or blanket. So coming into all fours. Our physical target area is going to be the hip flexor. And our meridian target area is going to be the spleen. So you can also just fold the mat if you prefer, like Vanessa's demonstrating. We're going to bring our left leg forward, bent at the knee, hands in line. Finding that edge on the right hip flexor, physical edge. Relaxing the muscles. As we relax the muscles, maybe that edge might open up a little bit for us. And then we're going to bring ourselves up on the left elbow onto the left knee. Just allowing that groin, that hip flexor to move in towards the mat a little if it can. Getting a nice connective tissue stress there. Finding some stillness. And in that stillness, we're going to move beyond the physical expression. Take our attention to the Spleen Meridian. So down to the big toe of the right foot. And when we work with this Spleen Meridian, I want you to just think about how differently it feels to the last posture where we're working the same meridian. So attention to the left foot big toe as we inhale, drawing that energy up the inside of the leg to the groin, coming out of the hip, up to the armpit. And as we exhale, back down the side of the body, hip into the groin, down the inside of the leg to the big toe. Inhale up. Exhale back down. Your decision about whether you're just drawing a line in your mind or you're actually drawing energy up and moving energy back down. But just take all of your attention and focus from that big toe all the way up the inside of the leg, groin, out to the hip, up to the side of the body, to the armpit, and all the way back down. That is your primary focus. Feeling all the sensations as you move your way up on the inhale and back down on the exhale. In and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Taking the hands down to the mat, releasing that front leg, just swapping to the other side. So exactly the same to the other side. So we're going to bring that right foot forward. Now I typically start with the knee above the ankle. You don't have to, but I find it a good place to start. You can explore if you want with the feet further forward or back. Hands in line with the foot. Target area, the left hip flexor physically, and the left spleen meridian energetically. So just finding that physical edge, groin, next, and relax. So relax the muscle around the target area, hip flexor. Groin might move towards the mat. And we're going to take our right elbow up onto the right knee. Some stillness, maybe that just going to open up a little bit physically, maybe that hip flexion groin is just opening up a little bit more. Finding that stillness, and then taking our attention beyond the physical expression to the spleen meridian in the left foot, big toe. And as we inhale, drawing up, big toe, side of the foot, inside of the leg, groin out to the hip, side of the body to the left armpit, and exhale all the way back down the side, hip, inner the groin, down the inside of the leg, inside of the foot to the big toe. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Again, you choose whether it's just a drawing line or drawing energy. Over time it will develop to a drawing of energy, a movement of energy. But for now, whatever we're doing, we're still opening up, flushing out those meridian bands, increasing the amount of chi that we have available in our body to move around, and also our perception of it. As we improve all of those three things, we're able to deal with not just the manifestations of disharmonies in the stomach and spleen, but it also helps us address some of the root causes. The digestive system is central to an overall healthy body. And that's why in particular I find stomach and spleen meridian work very beneficial. Just taking the hands to the mat, releasing that right foot, coming straight back down to a rebound. So again, lying flat on your back, bringing the eyes to a close if you're comfortable, or just defocusing the eyes if you want to keep them open. Taking the attention to the physical target area, so to the hip flexors, both legs. Just opening the mind to whatever sensations you can feel moving from or through the hip flexors. Just deciding whether you feel they're
sensations are following the same path as the spleen meridian. Maybe just the lower bit, maybe the whole spleen meridian from the toes right up to the armpits. Observing, noting, comparing to other postures where we've worked the spleen meridian. Seeing as we work through the practice, if the sensations start to change a little bit, maybe we are opening up meridians. Next inhale, coming up to a seated position. Getting ready for our next posture. The target area is going to be the glute. So we're going to bring our right leg out in front, bend at the knee, take our left leg straight back. So target area will be the right glute. And the meridian we'll be targeting will be the stomach meridian, so the outside of the front outside of the right leg in front. So just physically finding our edge. Edge, first point of resistance. Relaxing as we relax the muscles around the target area, so around the glute. You may find that posture opens up a little bit. And for some people, we maybe have our arms quite a way forward, that may be enough. For others, you may be up on your fingertips, might even be using blocks to get more height. But we're not trying to work at the extremes here, so just wherever you're comfortable for the next 2 or 3 minutes. Finding stillness, using that stillness to go beyond the physical to the energetic. Finding the energetic starting at the second toe in the right foot. And on the next inhale, drawing energy up from the second toe, top of the right foot, outside of the right leg, going up to the glute, forward, up the front of the chest, shoulder, neck, right side of the face. And as we exhale, come all the way back down, right side of the face, neck, shoulder, straight down the front of the chest. Down the torso, out to the outside of the right leg, all the way down the outside of the right leg, across the top of the right foot to the second toe. Inhaling up and exhaling, taking that energy all the way back down, outside of the leg, second toe. If you want to explore a bit, you can try just letting the head drop or lean a little bit to the left. You may find that just changes the sensation all the way at the outside of that right leg, up the front of the body, particularly in the neck, the right hand side of the face. And exhaling. Staying with the same meridian, so the stomach meridian. Just going to walk the hands forward. Now here, again, you can rely on your elbows. Some people prefer to have a bolster under them to take some of that weight off under the chest. It's entirely up to you. As Vanessa demonstrating there, it's quite a good way also of supporting the head if you want to do that. So, finding on that edge, first physical edge, relaxing the muscle. Relax the muscle, maybe the posture will open up a bit. Maybe that allows us to go a little bit deeper if we want to. But always remembering we are practicing yin, and particularly when we're working with meridians, we're interested in discerning subtle sensations. So we don't want to be pushing the physical maximum. So finding stillness in the body and the mind. Using that stillness, taking our attention back to the second toe of the right foot. And again, as we inhale, drawing the energy up the outside of the right leg, all the way up towards the glute, coming across up the front of the chest, shoulder, neck, right hand side of the face. And as we exhale, all the way back down, neck, shoulder, chest, and the outside of the right leg, all the way down the outside of the leg, top of the foot, to the second toe. Again, just making a note, comparing, how does this expression, how do the sensations differ in the posture between the last posture and this? We're working both the glute and the stomach meridian. But again, you're quite likely to find that stimulating different parts of the meridian band. Inhaling, drawing the energy up, and exhaling, allowing that energy to flow back down the outside of the leg, top of the foot, second toe. Inhale, outside of the leg, up the front of the chest, shoulder, neck, side of the face. Exhale all the way back down, straight the front of the chest, outside of the leg, top of the foot, second toe. Next inhale, walking the hands back, releasing the legs straight forward, and just swapping to the other side. So we're going to start by bringing that left leg forward this time, taking the right leg back, getting the position of the knee and the ankle entirely up to you. It's functional yin, we're not concerned with aesthetics. So our concern is working the physical target area, which is the glute, so the left glute. So just starting to find that edge. Relaxing the muscles around the target area, so relaxing the muscles around the glute, the left glute. As we relax those muscles, Maybe the edge moves out, posture opens up, allows us to go a bit deeper if we want to. We can use some blocks to support us. Just making sure that we're comfortable for the next 2 or 3 minutes. Finding stillness, mental and physical stillness, both of which allow us to explore the energetic dimension of the posture. So taking our attention to the second toe of the left foot. And then as we inhale, slowly just taking that attention all the way across the top of the foot, up the outside of the left leg, going up towards the glute, in up the front of the chest, behind the nipple, up to the shoulder, neck, to the left side of the face. And as we exhale, slowly coming back down the side of the face, neck, shoulder, down the front of the chest, torso, to the outside of the left leg, all the way down the outside of the left leg, top of the foot, second toe. Just a few times using your own rhythm of breathing, inhaling, drawing up, and exhale, allow it to move down or drawing it down. Inhale, outside leg, front of the chest, shoulder, neck, side of the face. Exhale, side of the face, neck, shoulder, front of the torso, outside of the leg, all the way down, top of the foot, second toe. A few more times. Want to explore with the movement of the head towards the right hand side. Feel free. Staying as we are, ready for our next posture. Simply going to walk the hands forward. So if you want to adjust the position of the ankle or the knee, that's fine. Coming forward. So target area again physically is the glute. Energetically it's our stomach meridian again. Finding that edge physically, relaxing the muscles. As we relax the muscles, maybe feeling the posture opening up, that edge moving out, giving us the opportunity to come a little deeper if we want. Coming in as far as you're comfortable. You can support yourself on a bolster if you wish, or you can bring yourself right down to the mat. But wherever you are, just finding some stillness. Stillness, body and mind. And using the clarity that stillness gives us, we want to explore the
energetic aspect of the posture. We take our focus to the second toe. And as we inhale, drawing out the second toe across the top of the foot, the outside of the left leg, up towards the glutes, into the front of the body, all the way up the front of the chest, at the back of the left nipple, shoulder, neck, left side of the face. And as we exhale, all the way back down, side of the face, chest, outside of the leg, and the outside of the leg, top of the foot, second toe. And again, maybe just comparing particularly the sensation in the meridian, the stomach meridian here, to the last posture, whether it's the same or different. If it is different, how is it different? Inhaling, draw the energy or attention up, just being aware of all the sensations in the outside of the leg, front of the torso, behind the left nipple, up to the shoulder, neck, left side of the body, and exhaling all the way back down, just drawing or allowing that energy to fall back down through the meridian. Building up the chi in the body's reserves, allowing that chi to move more freely, or consciously actually moving it, and flushing out those meridian bands as we do it. Next inhale, just slowly walking the hands back, releasing the legs and coming straight back to a rebound. So lying on your back, everything relaxed, bringing the eyes to a close, taking our attention to the glutes, the area around the glutes. Just opening the mind to any sensations that originate or just pass through that physical target area. So just deciding for yourself whether they actually move along the stomach meridian band pathway. Do they move down the outside of the leg to the second toe? Maybe that's all they do. What if they do more? Maybe they move back up from there, right up the front of the chest towards the armpit, further up, shoulder, neck, side of the face. Each time we practice, it's going to be different, and for each of us, it's going to be different. So you need to have your mind open, and your perception wide open to decide how it is today, because it won't be the same as yesterday. Just a couple more breaths here. And the next inhale. Ready for our next posture. So it's going to be a lying twist, the next one, so you can stay lying down if you wish. Our target area is going to be, the physical target area is going to be the obliques and the glutes. Our meridian target area is going to be the spleen, so the big toe. So lying down, just going to leave the right leg extended. We're going to bend the left leg. I'm just going to take the left leg over the body. We're going to keep the left leg extended, so we'll keep it straight and extended. Our arms can be straight out to the side, they can be overhead. First edge here, just work with the physical first edge, the obliques, glutes, feel it down this left hand side. If you want, you can rest the right hand on the left knee like I am. Relaxing the muscles. Maybe the posture opens up a little bit. And then we find some stillness. Stillness in the body and the mind. With that stillness, we can take our attention to the meridian we're working with, the Spleen Meridian. So the big toe of the left leg. And on the inhale, we're going to draw that energy up from the big toe all the way up the inside of the leg. Side of the body to the armpit. As we exhale, we're going to allow that energy to move back down the side of the body, down the inside of the leg to the big toe. So again, here you can experiment with the position of the head, sometimes turning the head away from the extended leg. It's going to increase the sensation down the inside of the leg. So inhaling, toe inside of the leg, groin coming out to the hip, side of the body up to the armpit. Exhale down the side of the torso, hip in at the groin, down the inside of the leg. So you inhale, move the energy, flush the meridian band. As you exhale, move the energy all the way back. Gently releasing that left leg, moving to the other side. Maybe moving from one side of the mat to the other, taking that right leg over to the left hand side of the body, keeping that right leg extended, maybe leaving the left hand on the knee, no weight on it, just the weight of the hand itself, not actually physical force. Finding that first edge, so target areas, glute, oblique, just finding that edge in the physical sense, relaxing the muscles. As we relax the muscles, maybe the posture opens up a little bit, just adjusting if it does. Say the arms can be up, down, out to the side. Head can be twisted either way, sometimes turning the head away from the extended leg. Increases the sensation in the extended leg, the right leg. And wherever we are now, just finding some stillness. Using that stillness, taking our attention down to the big toe of the right leg as we inhale, drawing that energy up the inside of the leg, up to the groin, out to the hip, all the way up the side of the torso, to the right armpit. Exhale down the side, hip, into the groin, down the inside of the leg, to the big toe. Again, inhale up, side leg, outside, torso, armpit, exhale, down, torso, hip, inside leg, big toe. Inhale, inside leg, groin, hip, side torso, armpit, exhale all the way back down, inside of the leg to the big toe. Just a couple more in your own time. Inhaling and exhale. Feeling the sensations as the energy moves through the body. And releasing that top leg. Just continuing to lie on our back. So, getting ready for our final posture, the Shavasana. Getting ourselves comfortable. Lying straight on your back. Arms and legs relaxed, away from the body, comfortable. Natural breathing. Eyes closed if you're comfortable. Regular breath. Just focusing on the breath for a couple of moments. Inhaling and exhaling. And as we have done in our rebounds, just clearing the mind. Bringing the attention to the areas that we've largely been working, so generally the lower part of the body, the glutes, the quads, the groin, in a physical sense, but also reminding ourselves now of the meridians that we've been working. The Stomach Meridian starts at the second toe, taking our attention there, drawing that up to the outside of the leg, the front of the chest behind the nipple, shoulder, neck, side of the face, and coming back down side of the face, neck, shoulder, straight down the front of the chest, outside of the legs, back down the top of the foot to the second toe. The Spleen Meridian, starting at the big toes, coming up from the big toes, the inside of the legs, coming out to the hips, up the side of the torso to the armpits, back down the side of the torso, into the groin, down the inside of the leg, to the big toes. So just focusing on those two meridian bands for a moment or two. We've spent a good 90 minutes working just 2 of the 12 main meridians in the body. So we've had the chance to apply some real energy to those areas, to work them in a physical and energetic sense, to really work on our reserves of chi, to flush out the meridian bands, and perhaps most importantly to improve our perception of chi in the body. And hopefully with those effects we can start to undo or reduce some of the manifestations of disharmony in these meridians. Hopefully we can reduce fatigue, we feel more energized. Hopefully we can start to get some more perspective over issues that we worry about or regret. Regret is for things that have happened in the past, and there's really very little we can do about those. And worry is typically about things in the future. And again, most of us have very limited control over the future. So again, perspective over worry and regret. Reducing our anxiety levels. And again, stopping this incessant overthinking. All of these things help us become more stressed during a typical day, and we need to let go. Working with our stomach and spleen meridians is going to help us get there. And hopefully after practicing this, you'll start to feel some of those benefits. So just take a couple more breaths here, lying in Shavasana. And then when you're ready and comfortable, maybe just roll to one side. And start to come up towards a seated position, comfortable seated posture. Maybe just allow the head to hang forward, looking at the mat for a couple of breaths. Coming back round to normal life, whatever that may be for you. And gently just raising the head. Namaste. I do hope you enjoyed the practice. I do hope that you begin to feel some of the benefits of working the stomach and spleen meridians.